All right, so the last thing that we're going to talk about right now is your opening and closing of your speech. Now these are very important because this is the first and the last things that you're going to say to your audience. These are the things that people are most likely to remember. The number one thing that it needs to include is your main idea. In other words, why are you giving the speech? What are you wanting them to know? You're going to want to make sure and include that in both the opening and the closing. But you might need to get their attention. Maybe your audience has had a long day, maybe it's hot, maybe they've heard a lot of speeches or something like that. So you need to make sure that you have a good way of getting your audience's attention. So there are several ways that you can get your audience's attention. Some ways, now this isn't all, but I want to give you a list of some ways that you might do this, are a good quote. My favorite quote is by a gentleman named Matthew Henry, where he says, "Woman was not made from man's head to top him, nor from his feet to be trampled upon by him, but out of his side to be protected, near his heart to be loved." So that's one of my favorite quotes, and depending on the type of speech, I might be able to use that one. Statistics. Now these can be very good. These are when you say things like, 4 out of 5 people, brush their teeth every day. I don't know if that's a real one or not, so don't make your statistics up. Make sure and do your research. But finding statistics can be a good way of getting people's attention and making them think about your topic. You can also ask a question, which will guide them to your topic. So if I were giving a speech on how to give a speech, I could say, how many of you have ever gotten in front of a group of people and completely forgot what you were saying? That's something that a lot of people can relate to, and so it's a question that gets their attention. And I could go on to say something along the lines of, well, I'm going to show you a way to write a speech so that that never happens to you again. Okay, do you see how that went into a speech topic? And then the last one I'm going to talk about is called a what if scenario. Now a what if scenario is when you come in and you ask, what if? What if every single person in this room were able to change the life of everybody around them? It can be more specific, it can be more general than that, but that gives you an idea, okay, of what a what if scenario is. And you can use all of these not only in your opening, but in your closing. Now I don't recommend using them all at once. What you should do is pick one to use in your opening and one to use in your closing. Sometimes they can be the same thing, but they don't have to be. They can be different ones that you use for your opening and the closing of your speech.